Today's podcast is brought to you by Quantrix Modeler Introductory Training, teaching the fundamental foundation that you need to become a Quantrix master. Go to quantrixauthority.com to learn more.
Show me how you do Quantrix.
Hey, welcome back to another Netcast. I'm Rich Lopez, Quantrix Authority. Sincerely appreciate you joining me today for episode number 215. Dynamic Item Generation Order, a Workaround. I showed you in episode 213 how in Quantrix Modeler 2018 we can now have dynamic item generation. And also I showed you how I have employed that in episode number 214. Well, I received a question in the YouTube comments today about order of item generation and how you want to maintain that order. Well, first off, let me say, unfortunately, you really can't maintain that order. But I'm going to show you a workaround where you can maintain the order. It's just not using item generation. Please note that item generation is a brand new feature to Quantrix. I have just recently, as of last week, I've contacted Mike Salisbury and James Kipling there at Quantrix and told them that we certainly want to be able to do a few more robust things with maintaining our order of items with item generation. So know that this is kind of version 1 of this functionality, and it will get better, and I'm certainly giving that feedback that they need to make it better. But first off, kind of back to the original question. So let's say I have a bunch of P&L line items here of gross sales, net revenue reductions that I then subtract from my gross sales, and I get net revenue. I throw in some COGS, and I subtract that from net revenue, and I'll get gross margin. And so on and so forth, right? These are P&L line items. And what I want to do is I want to have these be categories in another matrix. Well, I should be able to simply click on a new matrix here and bring it over here and right-click on category F here. Let me make this a little bit taller so we can see it a little better. Right-click on this and then go ahead and click Generate Items off of Configure and select Automatic, and then simply click on P&L Items. What we would expect to see, and we would hope to see, is that Quantrix would maintain the order of these items, right? So that gross sales would be at the top. But for whatever reason, Quantrix puts it in just this random order. And if I were to go in and try to change the position of these, I guess I could do that, right? But it's so manual, so I don't necessarily feel good about that, as well as what happens if I add another item to this. So let's say it was payout or something we put here. Well, where does it show up? Well, it looks like it's showing up here at the bottom, but what if I added another item here? And let's say I wanted to have, instead of net revenue reductions, here, say I wanted to put in coupons. Where would that show up? Well, that shows up clear down here at the bottom. So again, it's just not putting this in any sort of logical order in my mind, or certainly not in the order that I had it here before and that I want to maintain. So I'm just going to undo those insertions that I did there. And so unfortunately, via this Configure Generate Items options here in Quantrix, there's no way to maintain this order as of right now. I'm really hoping that they'll fix that. So what I would suggest is maybe a less dynamic way. Well, it's certainly a less dynamic way, and that is simply using a data link. And I would go up here to Data, Data Link, and I would create a data link. And I would select two-dimensional matrix data, click Next, and then where do I want to pull my data from? I want to pull it from matrix 1, so I'm going to go ahead and select that. And my category is category A because it has the P&L line items, so I'll select that. I'll click Next, Next through here, multi-dimensional OLAP analysis. I'm going to create a new matrix, and then I'm going to unclick category B because I don't want to bring in these items associated with B here, but I want to bring in all the P&L items, and I want to bring them as a category. I'm not going to apply any sort. I'm going to leave these two checked. It doesn't make a difference in this case. And then I'm going to, I guess, remove previously imported items. And if I go ahead and I click Finish on this and finish out my wizard, then you can see that in Data Matrix 1, indeed, it looks like my sort order is maintained off of this. So if I were to go ahead and say I were to add coupons into here, Again, that throws it down at the bottom over here in this item generation. But where would it throw it here in this data set? If I go ahead and I refresh my DataLink, it would throw it in the correct order that I have listed. So it's not dynamic, but I think that is a workaround as of right now to take items from a two-dimensional matrix, throw them as category items in another matrix, and have it maintain the order. That's how I would do it. Anyway, that was a question sent in to me by Michael. I hope that you find that useful, and I hope that you'll continue to watch me here at Quantrix Authority on YouTube, because I want to make you a Quantrix master. So please join me again for another episode of Quantrix Authority, and also please send me any questions you have about Quantrix, because I want to answer them here.